Hello, once again, and welcome. This is Weapons Left, and today I'm going to be bringing you Ryan versus Anytime. This is a continuation of the Pro League set that I had begun commentating on. This is Air Force Ace versus Estro. Going to try and provide you guys a little bit more information this time, starting off with some statistics on our players. Starting off with Anytime, it looks like they're going to start off with, so I will as well. Anytime is actually a pretty old player. He's been around for quite a little while. Most recently, he's 5-5, so doing relatively well. He is 52.45% career wins, so relatively decent career, I would say. He has finished first place in some Star League events, so he is a quality player, and I look forward always to watching his games. He's a very solid Protoss player. On the other hand, we have Sangho, who is also known as Ryan. He goes by Ryan in the Pro League, so that is what they're probably going to refer to him as. I'm probably going to refer to him as Sangho, just warning you. Sangho's statistics are a little bit less impressive. He is much earlier on in his career, so not as much to really look at in terms of his statistics. Recently, 33 and 52 all time, 4 wins, 6 losses to his last 10 games. So not super impressive, but it is what it is. The thing about young players that you always have to keep in mind is that you never know what's going to break them out. You never know what's going to be the catalyst that's going to go ahead and drive them up into the new standings, up into the top. So you kind of anticipate that. You always hope, that these guys are going to show you something exciting. They are pro gamers. They are ridiculously good. They just don't happen to be as good as some of the other pro gamers. So we'll see what happens in this. It's going to be a Protoss versus Protoss matchup on Destination. At current, it looks like we are going to see probably a lot of mirror play. I don't anticipate seeing a lot of deviation from the two builds from these two players. Protoss versus Protoss is primarily a matchup of hard counters. So the most key thing to look for in this matchup is going to be scouting. So the person that scouts harder or scouts more effectively is more than likely going to win the matchup. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be played on Destination. A really fun map. I think that it's really nice to have a tactical map like Destination, and it looks like we're gonna have Ryan or Sangho as the teal Protoss, and you're gonna have Anytime as the yellow Protoss. Or forgive me, those colors are gonna be off. Actually, it looks like instead we're gonna have red Protoss is going to be Sangho, and the yellow Protoss is going to be Anytime. So you have Sangho starting in the bottom right position, and Anytime starting in the top left position in yellow. So we'll see who displays their Bisu-like probe scouting technique in this game. I feel as though that's going to be relatively important, since in a Protoss versus Protoss matchup, if you are able to find out what your opponent is doing and where he's going in his tech tree, it was pretty much invaluable, since there are always hard counters to every step of the tech tree. So, provided one player decides to go for Reavers, or decides to go for drop play, or things of that nature, if that's scouted early, it's going to be extremely easy to counter. It would not surprise me at all if both of these guys ended up doing almost the exact same thing, though. You do see that a lot in the pro matches, provided that scouting doesn't happen, or that they manage to scout each other at roughly the same time, or they don't eliminate each other's probes. Look out for the mirror build, because that's gonna be completely unsurprising, to be honest. And the other thing to keep in mind, I suppose, would be that if it does turn into a complete mirror matchup, that you're going to see a micro battle, which is always fun. Whoever has the better micro wins, and is not necessarily a bad thing to watch. It looks like Sangho is going to go for gas earlier, so that might be indicative of the fact that he is going to be going for an earlier high gas consumption unit. His core is also down, and it looks like Anytime's probe is in there just in time to see that. He will note that there are 2 probes on, and actually there are 3 probes that are going on gas, so heavy gas being extracted already for Sangho. Whereas Anytime has yet to put down, or is just now putting down, the gas extractor. But look at that, we have a manor pylon, and that caught quite a few probes. Very nice move by Anytime. to go ahead and throw that down. He has trapped several probes with that Manor Pylon, and that is going to disrupt the economy of Sangho. I would have to say that that's a pretty brilliant play on his part. Pylon is going down now, but obviously the damage is pretty much already done there. So, good stuff from Anytime, already showing a little bit to us his experience. That's a very effective technique to use in a Protoss versus Protoss matchup. We do see his probe now skating around in Sangho's base, being chased by a Zealot, and obviously the same type of thing is happening in his own base. Now with two Zealots out for Anytime, it looks like there is some action going on, but that probe is still twittering around, and surprisingly, Anytime it looks like is retreating the probe. Kind of surprised since there's that Dragoon is coming out now, so I suppose he's trying to keep that alive just for the sake of not losing his unit. But it's usually relatively important to go ahead and keep a probe in there just so that you can see where he's going to be going next up the tech tree. So I'm mildly surprised to see Anytime already withdrawing that probe. Perhaps he's going to withdraw it with hopes of replacing it with a fresh one. He is moving that probe to one of the expansion locations, so perhaps he's scouting for that, and it looks like Sangho's probe does go down. So, no, instead, actually, and I think this has been spotted, I think that Anytime is actually headed around the back to try and mine out the rear entrance to Sangho's base. Sangho has this well scouted, not going to happen. Dragoon is sitting there waving his finger, and another Dragoon in pursuit. So while that was a clever attempt by Anytime, his brilliance is thwarted by pretty good scouting actually by Sangho. So pretty high level play. It's relatively impressive. Good move by Sangho though, obviously in countering that, and it looks like that Anytime's going to go ahead and expand at this point, which makes a lot of sense. This is probably going to be an economic heavy game, and here we go is the first conflict of the game. It looks like two goons and a Zealot for Sangho, and actually another goon entering in the fray. Good micro here, it looks like, and these Zealots are going to go ahead and do some pretty heavy damage. Not at all, actually, and that's exactly what I was going to say, is Dragoons versus Zealots with proper micro. That's not even a contest. Those Zealots die very easily at the hand of those Dragoons, especially when he has three. Nice micro there by Sangho, very easily in handling the Zealot, and it looks like Anytime was able to do the exact same thing. So it looks like both players are going for nearly the identical builds at this point. Three Dragoons out for Sangho, an equal number. Another Dragoon is being popped out. Both have gateways down, and both have decided to expand. Sangho just placing his down. It looks like the observer just found that. And obviously